Joni, you talked last night about this team doesn't get too high or too low, or you don't want it to. I assume playing LSU, you don't have a problem, get the girls back on track and get focused.
Oh, yeah, I mean, what a nice way to get back to reality, right? You look at who you have next on your schedule. Obviously, it's a team we're familiar with. They're excellent, top 10 in the country. They are excellent in transition. They've got several players who can score. You got Anissa Moore, who's leading the country in rebounding and block shots. I mean, it's just a super talented team. Another fun team to watch. And we're gonna have our hands full.
Who do they remind you of maybe that you've played? Like you said, you've seen Kim enough, know her style, but as far as the way they play, I know they changed maybe a little bit this year from last year. They remind you of any team you played.
Parts, but I can't say they remind me of a certain team. Like, they don't run consistently in transition like Tennessee, but when they get out in transition, they are elite in how they execute and how they finish. And the other thing that I would just say for them is their ability to just stretch you. Flage can score it, Michaela can score it, Anissa can score it. Samaya on the rim, and then Day Wilson does a great job of facilitating, but their second shot is their best shot, and so this is a team who you've got to really buckle down and guard, and then after you do that, you've got to figure out how to box them out and go get a rebound, and so they stretch you defensively in a lot of ways.
Last night, you said they followed the game plan, for the whole game, and that's kind of what got you the win. Do you feel like a team like LSU, with what they went through last night, it's another one of those, hey, if we follow the game plan, we can get this done against a high level opponent.
Well, I mean, we want them to follow the game plan every single night, and I think that we always are confident in what we put in front of them. Our assistant coaches do a tremendous job of getting us prepared and getting us ready. It's the discipline, right? We were disciplined last night, and our discipline is what allowed us to follow the game plan. We chose hard last night, and choosing hard is what allowed us to follow the game plan. So for us, the end result is we followed the game plan, but really it's the byproduct of being disciplined and choosing hard. And that's what we've got to consistently do.
The way you play defense, I mean, you kind of want, it seems like you want that kind of as your identity, maybe.
Absolutely. Always, we want, because defense travels. Defense is going to give you a chance every single night. And so that's got to be where we start. It's got to be where we start.
Janae Kent came from LSU. Just what can you say about her process or transition to come to Aggieland, and then even when she went in the portal, the recruitment process to get her here?
Yeah, so Janae is someone who we've known. She's from Chicago. My husband's from Chicago, so our families have known each other for a long time. We watched Janae in high school and really, really liked her. We were at Georgia at the time, and we were just loaded with guards. We had a ton of really talented guards, and we cared about her and her family too much to bring her into a situation where we weren't sure what her playing time was going to look like. And then fast forward to last year, she goes into the portal. It's a different conversation. So you bring in someone who is from a basketball family. Her mom played basketball, her brother plays, her dad played and coaches, and so they get it, they breathe it, they understand it. She's a smart young lady. She's passionate about it. And so what she's brought to us is just consistency as it relates to just how she shows up every day. And she's continuing to show up and just work. She's still a young player who's got a lot of games in front of her. She played 32 games last year, and some of those minutes were, at the end of games. And so just her growth this year because of being a starter, the expectation that comes with that, and then just the experience that she's getting is invaluable. And so excited about what her future looks like here, and glad that she's with us.
Lauren and AC last night talked about how great it was to see some of the younger players also step up yesterday and really make it a team win. Just how important is that going forward to see that consistency from some of your younger folks?
Well, I think all those games in November and December are starting to pay off. I mean, Talia comes in the second half and scores 7 in a row. She hits a big 3 and then 2 jumpers, and we needed that because we were down at the time. Erica's starting to really get a feel for, the game and just getting her feet back under her after not playing for 3 years. Amira is not a young player by any stretch, but she's a first-year player in our program. She hits a big three. She gets a big rebound, just her presence on the floor. And so, as we are continuing to play and they're getting more time on the floor, you can just see their growth, and you see it every day in practice as well. And so when you can start trusting them more to put them in those moments. I mean, Amira finished the game at Georgia. This is the second game Erica's finished. I don't want to leave out Kendall Hunter, who is continuing to come along as well and who hasn't played basketball in 2 years. So I'm excited about where we are in terms of how we are continuing to put our head down and just show improvement and grow.
You mentioned how at times how young this team is in playing experience. So how has being at West Virginia, at South Carolina, at Oklahoma possibly prepare you for what's usually a pretty big hostile crowd at LSU?
That's going to be a great environment. I'm excited. It's also their reunion game. So as a former assistant coach, I'm getting all the emails about the reunion. So it's an exciting atmosphere. Is what you want to be a part of as it relates to women's basketball. And so we will be excited to be a part of it, but it won't be anything new because of being at South Carolina already and just West Virginia and some of the environments we've been in. And it's what it's continuing to elevate our game.
With South Carolina and LSU playing today, do you feel like they're obviously such a talented team, but somewhat an advantage from a legs underneath you standpoint that they'll have such a short turnaround?
No, not at all. They'll be absolutely fine.
So are you the block coach? Because a lot of times, I don't be politically correct, but women seem to be fouled sometimes more than men on those. But you had some great blocks here the last few games. Your team, do you actually have a block coach?
No, we don't. We
Just
don't.
because I know you played inside, so I was wondering.
And third, well, maybe I'm fourth now in block shots at Alabama. I think somebody.
You're up there, so that's what I wondered.
No, I'm stop. No, we don't have a block coach. We just talk about the ball's got to come to you and keep in your hands. And it's timing. It's a feel. It's a timing thing. And we've got a few players who are pretty good at it.
How many times did you replay that one to where though? That was
great.
I was gonna say.
It was great. It was great. Yeah.
All right, thank y'all.
Thank you.